fifth grade friends. Well, now that we've learned about the water cycle and about the hydrosphere and the biosphere interacting in that pond, let's tie it all together with plants. Plants play a big part in the water cycle. If you think about it, every green plant that you see behind me is somehow related to the clouds you see in the sky behind me too. How could that be? Let's figure this out as we look at the subject of transpiration in plants. People have realized for a long time that plants kind of soak up water and they kind of give off water through their leaves as well as giving off oxygen. So as they do that, plants can help us by taking some of the chemicals and sediment that may be in the runoff or other water that's flowing across the ground, and they can kind of tie it up into their tissues. So we're going to be looking at transpiration, and you'll be doing an activity involving transpiration. Also, we'll be looking at how we can use native plants, plants that are from around here, and put them into bioswales and rain gardens so that they can help to keep our water clean in creeks, rivers, ponds, and lakes. Let's take a look again at plants and how they can help us so much. Hey friends, remember this spot at C.A. Frost out in the playground area? We had a problem with this flooding and all this water kind of going into our pond and overflowing. So we planted a bioswale. These are native Michigan plants that help to take up some of that water and then maybe tie up some of the chemicals that are in it from the parking lot too, like antifreeze, gasoline, and oil, and put it into their tissues and change it. So native plants can help us solve problems like runoff and non-point source pollution. Here's our bioswale at C.A. Frost. It's looking really good, isn't it? Check this out. We know that runoff can move into rivers and ponds and lakes and cause problems because it can carry pollutants with it. Well, bioswales are depressions where water collects normally that are planted with native vegetation. And these native plants can take up some of these chemicals in their roots and kind of lock them in place so that they don't go into a nearby source of fresh water. Bioswales and rain gardens are one way that we can help manage erosion and runoff. Well, hey, fifth grade friends, let's try a little experiment. I've got this little Ziploc sandwich bag. I'm going to put it around these leaves on this box elder, and then I'm going to zip it closed so that not too much air or moisture can get in and out. Now, right now I start off with a dry bag. I just took this out of my kitchen. I wonder what's going to happen after I leave the bag on the leaves, sealed up, for 20 to 60 minutes. Let's find out. I'm going to seal this one up and let it go. Looks pretty good. If you're trying this at home, make sure you pinch that Ziploc tight so you're kind of sealing it up around the stem coming down. I've made this pretty tight. Now, I wonder what will happen inside the bag if I leave it for a while in the sunlight. Interesting. I wonder. So where did that water come from? Remember the water cycle? This is actually part of it too. Look at that. Wow, this process of transpiration is pretty amazing if you think about it. Let me take this bag off and we'll take a look inside and talk a little bit about transpiration. That's gotta feel good to those leaves to get out of that. It's been a hot day. Hey boys and girls, do you sweat or perspire on hot days? Well, plants kind of do too. The water you see inside of this bag came from the surface of the leaves, actually the bottom side. It came out of little tiny holes, microscopic holes in the leaves called stomata. And when it gets warm, plants will transpire more. So this water is from transpiration. It came from all the way from the roots of this great big tree, came all the way from the roots and all the way out the leaves. That's pretty amazing when you think about every tree you see gets water all the way up to the very tip top of the branches. Every leaf needs water in this big tree. And it comes through the roots up tiny tubes in the trunk of the tree and comes all the way up into the leaves. And then the excess water is transpired out, helping to cool the plant and helping to create a strong movement of water coming in through the root. Transpiration, quite fascinating. You know, we've known that plants kind of draw water up into their tissues and then transpire it out their leaves. We've known that for a long time. So people have realized that we can use that transpiration property of plants to help clean our water. When it rains hard and there's runoff and water running over land and erosion, if we put in rain gardens or bioswales like you've seen, it can help to minimize sediment and pollution into waterways by tying up some of those things in the plant tissues before they get to a freshwater supply. So transpiration is connected to humans. We use this process of transpiration to help keep our waterways clean. And all those clouds you see, 10% of the water in this atmosphere is estimated to come through transpiration from leaves of trees and other plants. It's amazing. We need transpiration. We need plants. And now, friends, it's time for you to try it yourself. Get a bag. It doesn't have to be a bag like this one. It could be any bag. Just tie off some leaves. It could be a plant on the ground. It could be a tree or a shrub in your yard. Give it a try. And if you can't do this, then watch the video. Think about the video you just watched and predict what would happen and answer the questions at the end. But what I really want you to do, friends, more than anything else, is I've got an idea. Let's get out in the great outdoors. Until next time, see ya.